Hey kiddos, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up that agriculture value chain that we talked about last week with service firms, cooperatives, and nonprofit organizations. And we're not really going to spend a lot of time on this just because they kind of intertwine with different parts of the value chain. And I'm not going to say they're not important because they are typically the back work that we don't see, but they are not where we're getting our food from specifically, or the different parts of what it goes into making our food. And then we're going to go into talking about what different types of businesses are, and I'm going to try to tie it all in and make sense so that you all will understand different parts of agriculture as well as how those businesses make sense, since we are in a business class. So first up, we're going to talk about service firms. Service firms provide intangible goods to consumers or other businesses. So basically what that means is a tangible good would be something that we could consume and we could use, like food. But intangible is like what goes into making that food. So a lot of goods and services that are intangible could be insurance companies, vets or animal health providers, crop dusters, which are the people who either fly drones around and spray pesticides and fertilizers, or sometimes they even fly helicopters over. And also credit unions or banks are also a part of service firms. So I like to think of service firms being connected with the producer the most, because the producer is going to benefit from these intangible goods so that we can get tangible goods. However, every part of that value-added chain that we talked about needs an insurance company, needs a bank. They all benefit from service firms in their own type of way. So, like I said, service firms are kind of like the back part that we don't typically see or think about as part of agriculture. Now we're going to talk about agriculture cooperatives. So they're basically organizations in which agriculturalists bring together resources for a specific area of activity. So in other words, this could be bringing your expertise to the table and you all kind of come up with a solution in how we can market this product, or how we can sell this product, or how we can make more of this product. So something that I would like to see us do as an agriculture cooperative is when we do greenhouse plant sales in the spring, that we work with Miss McGrath's marketing class, and they can help market for us in order to have plant sales and market to the community. That's a good way of me thinking of it. So I'd like you to kind of think of it that way, but also just think of like how we can come together, and typically cooperatives mean that we're coming together. All right, the last one is nonprofit organizations. So they provide goods and services to businesses and individuals. So they operate on donations, volunteers, and philanthropists, which are people who support them, rather than income and profit. So a lot of commodity associations are nonprofit organizations. FFA is a nonprofit organization. Some other ones that you may be aware of are soil and water conservation districts. There is a National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Farm bureaus. I'm sure most of you are aware of Farm Bureau and it being an insurance company, as well as there is a National Pork Association. So we're going to talk about what those are so that they kind of make sense. And you're like, okay, well, I don't know what they are, so how do they help me? So, soil and water conservation districts encourage appropriate standards of conservation, restoration, management, and proper use of soil, water, and natural resources. So basically, soil and water conservation districts, they are making sure that we're getting the correct quality. We're making sure we're taking care of our land, and making sure we're taking care of our water, and making sure we have clean water to use, and we have natural resources, and we're not misusing them, or we're not polluting the water with our chemicals, or we're not using things that aren't going to benefit the environment. So they're basically kind of like environmentalists. National Cattlemen's Beef Association. That's a mouthful. So they enhance profit opportunities for cattle and beef producers by increasing business and creating consumer demand. So National NCBA, I was actually a part of it when I was in college. So what they do is they advocate for beef producers. So they advocate for the beef industry and try to encourage you to eat more beef. They educate you on beef. They basically are trying to create more profit for producers, and they just work on their donations. They are providing a service in an intangible way that you don't even realize. They're big on advocating. Farm bureaus, they support members in management of financial risk of everyday life and successfully recover from any injured loss. So basically, Farm Bureau, the best way for me to explain it to you is they're an insurance company. Insurance companies are trying to prevent us from going in the hole when something happens. So, So, farmers buy insurance on their crops every year. So when a hurricane comes through and destroys all of their crops, they have insurance, and the insurance can supply them with income because of the fact that they're not going to get income from damaged crops. So having insurance will, in return, help pay off. Yes, you're paying for it, but in the end, you get more out of it. I don't know if that really makes sense, but think about it. Your parents pay for insurance on their car. Well, if something happens and they wreck their car, who's going to pay for their car? They don't want to pay for a wrecked car they can't drive. So insurance is there to cover them. We're not going to get much deeper than that because we're not talking about insurance. So let's move on to the National Pork Producers Council. So they increase opportunities for the success of pork producers. So like NCBA, they are advocating and educating and teaching people about pork and why it's good for you and why you should buy it and how pork is like this amazing thing so that people buy pork. So it basically it's another way of kind of like marketing for pork producers in a non-formal way, I guess, per se. So in conclusion, service firms provide intangible goods such as like insurance companies, banks, crop dusters, and I forgot the fourth one. But agricultural co-ops are people coming together and finding a solution to make something better. So my example was us using our greenhouse and our marketing class, helping us come up with marketing campaigns or marketing posters and different things to market our greenhouse. And then nonprofit organizations, basically we learned that they advocate and educate for the producer. So most of these things go hand in hand with the producer. However, they do legwork for everybody. So if you still have questions, I'm going to post some notes. Please let me know if you have any other questions that you couldn't get out of the notes, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.